When you're most emotional, you are most likely to learn things. A lot of studies have been done on memory and emotions and how much more we can remember things when we attach an emotion, attach a feeling to it. And so, when you find yourself extremely emotional, your brain is actually in like a hyper learning state. A lot of times you're hyper emotional because you want to change your situation, you're unhappy with the way that things have been, or maybe it's really good and you want to do it again. Like you got like a really good source of food or something, you know, if you want to take it back to primal or whatever. But if you're thinking really emotionally, that means there's something to learn. Okay? And so what I like to do, if I'm ever like super emotional, I'll actually sit down or I'll like just embrace it. You know, if somebody's like yelling at me or something, I'll usually just like, I'll really enter like this hyper learning, like where I'll try to really pay attention, not only to them, but also to like why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. And I'll like really try to search it rather than, you know, just exploding in emotion and like vomiting all my my thoughts out on people. And you want to really sit in it, almost make like go into like a silence and really think, because usually there's something to learn. And so I'm going to give you an example of one of these studies. One of them was done on video gamers and how much people can learn from video games over like a reading, I think it was, reading a textbook. And they learned that when the person was learning something in an actual fun way that they were enjoying, that they learned like 90% of the material that they were going over in the game, whereas in the reading, they only learned about 20% of the material. Now, the concentration of knowledge that's able to be acquired like that is like probably different. I don't really know. It depends on the game. Like history might be pretty easy to do in games or things like that, but I don't know. I don't know everything about the study. So, but I'm curious to know more details about it. So, anyway, that makes me think the same way about every emotion, because when I was most sad at different times or most happy at different times, there was always a reason why I felt like that. And my body or my brain was trying to teach me like, wow, I should really do this again. Maybe you like really like a girl and you're like, oh yeah, you're thinking about her all the time. And the thing is, your brain is like, wow, this is really cool. We should talk to girls more often, right? Like that's what's going through your brain, and that's what it's trying to learn. And maybe you go out and you socialize with a bunch of friends. It's the same thing. You're like, wow, I'm having a lot of fun. I should do this more often. And so that fun that you're experiencing, that like heavy, intense pleasure, is trying to teach your brain, yes, we should do this. Pain is like, we should steer away from this. But a lot of times when you're like uncomfortable and you have like this like anxiousness, or you just kind of feel off, a lot of times there's something that you don't know in your life, so you're trying to figure it out, that is making your life not everything that you would like it to be. And so a lot of people get this when they're pursuing something new or they're in kind of an unknown territory. They'll get like a confusion or an anxiety, an anxiousness. They'll want to know exactly what they need to do or why they feel the way they do. A lot of times you'll experience like a sadness. You're like, why exactly do I even feel like this? Why am I so sad right now? And a lot of that comes from just lack of information, lack of knowledge, lack of direction. And so really you learn all these things when you just sit in the emotions and you let it happen and understand emotions for what they are. A lot of people are afraid of their emotions. They don't want to express emotions. And a lot of the masculine culture is like, ignore your emotions, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you don't want your emotion to control you, but you do want to acknowledge them because they're inevitably going to happen, and you want to understand what they mean and what they do to you, right? So anyway, I've learned to use emotions as a tool to teach me things about myself and about what I actually want or need in life. And I'm sure that if you were to pay more attention to your emotions, you'd probably learn a thing or two about yourself as well. So if you like that video, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.